to That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.
All right, Kevin McCullough back from Times Square. So glad to have you here. And Sandy Rios is my special guest. I ran into her recently at the Talkers Convention in New York. Everybody thinks that the talk radio industry is this enormously huge thing. It's actually a very small community. There's probably like maybe 200 or 300 people that come every year. We don't even fill up an auditorium, but the friendships that exist in the people that work in talk radio go years and years for me. And when Sandy walked through the door, my jaw nearly hit the floor. I was like, Sandy, I hadn't seen you in so many years. And then a producer that came after Dave and I, Guy Benson, when you were on your second flight, he came walking in. He's a successful talk show host for Fox News, the satellite channel that they have on Sirius now. And of course, he works at Town Hall and the editorial. So it's a very small world. We all know each other way too well, but so glad to get you on the show tonight. Let me ask you about what we were talking just going into the break. 2024 is going to be a watershed election. I don't care how you look at it. From where you're sitting and what you're reading, and you have the most encyclopedic memory of anybody I've ever worked with. You're able to recall facts from times that I don't even think the Times know exist. But tell me what your thoughts are about where we are.
Oh, wow. That's a big question, Kevin. I guess I would say I think we're in trouble, in deep trouble. I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, I think it's going to be a challenge to have a free and fair election. And that is probably overriding my view of most things. I will be shocked if we do. I think we are entering into, the turbulence is accelerating. I don't think that anyone listening would doubt that. We have turbulence in our country, turbulence in politics, turbulence in our schools and our families, and there is turbulence all over the globe. We are under great threat here from China. We are under great threat from our moral free fall is probably the best word. And it's kind of beginning to eat up our children and destroy, cannibalize them. And because I do believe in God, I don't think that a just God can allow this to continue. And so I find myself really expecting there's going to be a correction, and it's not going to be easy for us. But I think in terms of because we don't know, because I don't know, I believe that we as citizens and Americans, and then those of us that are Christians in that population, need to put one foot in front of the other and do the next thing. Every day is important. We need to teach our children, counter what's happening in the public schools. We need to help other people's children. We need to help our neighbors. We need to, I believe, rediscover our faith in God. Some of us have not forgotten it. Others have never had it. But some have just let it go atrophy. You know, there was a great awakening, they called it, in this country. There were two great awakenings. And those great awakenings were not for people who were Buddhists or pagans. Awakening was for people who were like from the Church of England or some of the traditional churches. Their families were Christian, and that's their moniker, but they had forgotten the power of the real God. And so I think that we need a tremendous awakening. That's different than revival. An awakening for people who know about Jesus, know about the God of our fathers, but have lost that connection. Because honestly, I don't think anything else can save us in this country. I don't. But the election, I still believe we need to be involved. There's still a chance. Who knows? We don't know what God might do or what he might allow. I think we have to really be aware. I think if you asked me what to think about this presidential primary, I think hold your powder. Don't declare too soon. Events are moving too rapidly. For us to, I think, draw a line in the sand yet on whatever you're thinking. Yeah. I believe that if you want to ask me about Donald Trump, I am sickened. I am sickened by what's happening to him. And as a former Trump supporter, as a Trump supporter, I don't know how I stand on the next race. I love Ron DeSantis. I love him. I think he's been tremendous. I'm not sure I love anyone else in the race in that way. But I can't bear to see what they're doing to President Trump. But there is a greater picture here to look at. If he could win, he still has my vote. because we need a person who agrees with us on most things and can win in this terrible, turbulent, dangerous election time. And of course, we're all supposed to say that Donald Trump was not the duly elected president, but Joe Biden is. And we're supposed to say there was no voter fraud, but I'm not willing to do that. So you can come and arrest me, whatever. I'm not saying that. Just not, because it's
Same
not
old Sandy, and I love it. Sandy, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. So appreciate it.
pleasure, Kevin.
You got it.
Nice to see you.
Ready or not, he'll be right back.